Imagine your husband trapping you in a room, calling you a hollow psychopath who hates her own kids, then storming out saying he's done forever, but the next morning, he's smiling like nothing happened, offering you breakfast. That's when I knew this wasn't confusion. It was war and my revenge. It made him crumble, stick around. You won't believe how I turned the tables. Hey everyone, if you've ever been gaslit, manipulated, or just plain disrespected by someone who thinks they hold all the power, this story's for you. It's raw, it's real, and the karma payoff, pure gold. Hit that like button if you're ready for some sweet justice. Subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales that hit right in the feels. And let's dive in. I never thought my life would turn into one of those nightmare stories you scroll past on Reddit. But here I am, 26 years old, married for 7 long years to a man 15 years my senior. We met when I was just 19, fresh out of my teens, and he was 34, already set in his ways looking back. The red flags were there from the start, subtle at first, like shadows creeping in our marriage. It was never the fairy tale. It was more like walking on eggshells, always waiting for the next crack I'd work full-time. Handle the kids, the house, everything, while he had his monologues, those long, draining speeches where he'd pick apart my every flaw, leaving me feeling small, scrambled, like my brain was turning to mush. But yesterday shattered everything. The day started normal, kids fed, laundry folded, the usual grind around 5 p.m. He called me into the back room. His voice was calm, almost too calm, like the still air before a storm I followed. Not thinking much of it, he closed the door behind us, the click echoing in my chest. He gestured for me to sit, and I did, my heart starting to pick up speed. No mistakes that day, no arguments. What was this? He launched into it, pacing slowly, his eyes locked on mine like he was dissecting me. "You've got issues," he started, his tone low and accusing. I felt that familiar shutdown creep in, the fog rolling over my thoughts, making it hard to speak, to even process. It's like my body goes into survival mode, words stick in my throat, and tears well up unbidden. Not loud sobs, just quiet streams down my cheeks, my stress leaking out because I can't hold it in. He didn't stop. His voice rose, words sharpening like knives. "You're damaged goods," he spat. Leaning in closer, I could smell his cologne, feel the heat of his breath, barely human. My hands clenched in my lap, nails digging into my palms, but I stayed silent. Frozen. Then it escalated. Questions fired like bullets. "Are you a psychopath?" "Yeah, I see it now." Full-blown no feelings, hollow inside. He compared me to wild animals, saying I had less instinct than a feral dog scavenging in the streets. My chest tightened. It hurt, deep, like a bruise forming on my soul. But he wasn't done. He twisted the knife further. "You couldn't possibly love our children with your mental conditions. You hate them." My world tilted those words. They burned. He pushed, demanded I admit it. "Say you're sorry for being damaged. Say you're a sociopath." I mumbled apologies through the tears, just to make it stop. But I drew the line. "I won't say I'm a psychopath," I whispered, "and I won't say I don't love my kids." For the first time in 7 years, something snapped inside me. I yelled, actually raised my voice, echoing off the walls. "You can't call me that! You can't make me say I hate them." The room went dead silent. He stopped pacing, stood tall, his face hardening like stone. "That's it," he said, voice flat and final. "I'm done. I'm moving in with my dad." He talked about not living with my abuse anymore, how he'd leave me as a single mom with the kids. Money wasn't the issue. I work full-time, pull my weight, but the threat hung heavy, then darker. "I'm starting to hate you. You'll drive me to hurt you." His words lingered like smoke, choking the air. I didn't fight back. Exhaustion weighed me down, maybe deep down a flicker of relief, like a chain loosening just a bit. We exchanged a few more tense words, then retreated to our separate beds, me with the baby, handling night feeds as always. That night, sleep evaded me. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, replaying it all. Betrayal gnawed at me, How could the man I married, the father of my children, strip me down like that? Powerlessness flooded in. I'd given him years, my youth, and this was the return? My mind raced. Was I really damaged? No, I knew better. But doubt crept in, whispering lies. Morning came, and with it, the twist that left me reeling. He let me sleep in. Something that never happens. I woke to the smell of coffee. Disoriented, my head still foggy from the emotional storm, he was in the kitchen. Humming like it was any other day. Morning, he said casually. Not a trace of last night's venom. I blinked, waiting for the shoe to drop, but nothing. Then, stranger still. I'll order a big breakfast for Mother's Day. Mother's Day? In 7 years, he'd barely acknowledged it. Forgot my birthday this year. Maybe one gift total in our marriage celebrations. Not for me, I stood there, coffee mug trembling in my hand, feeling off kilter, like the ground was shifting under my feet for a moment. False hope flickered. Maybe he'd realized he'd gone too far, apologized in his own weird way. We sat down to eat. The food arrived, steaming and abundant. He chatted about work, the kids, normal stuff. I forced a smile, my stomach nodding. Was this a reset? A chance to breathe? But as we ate, his eyes flicked to mine. That same calculating glint. No sorry, no acknowledgement, just pretense, like erasing the night before. Frustration boiled up. How dare he play this game? Make me question my sanity? The injustice of it all hit harder. Years of monologues, control. Now this gaslighting charade, that's when the breaking point came mid-bite. I excused myself to the bathroom, locked the door, and stared at my reflection. Puffy eyes, weary lines. Enough, no more eggshells, no more shutdowns. Powerlessness. I'd turn it into power. Justice wasn't about screaming back. It was about reclaiming my life. My kids deserved better. I deserved better. In that mirror moment, resolve hardened. I'd make him face the consequences, quietly, methodically. But how? Stay tuned. The plan was brewing, and it would hit where it hurt. The next few days I played along, smiled through the fog, kept the routine inside, though. A storm raged, doubt nipped at me. What if he flipped again? What if I couldn't pull it off? But determination won. I started small. Secret. During lunch breaks at work, I'd search online, quietly, on incognito mode, for divorce lawyers, support groups for emotional abuse. Sensory details stuck. The click of my keyboard, heart pounding. Glancing over my shoulder like a spy in my own life, I journaled everything. The monologues, the insults, dates and times, evidence. My internal voice shifted. You're not damaged, he's the hollow one. Then, the plan solidified. I'd gather proof, consult a pro, and strike when he least expected. Suspense built in my chest. Every dinner, every casual chat, I wondered if he'd sense it one night. He monologued again, smaller this time. Nitpicking my parenting, I shut down as usual. But inside, recording app on, hidden in my pocket. His voice captured, "You're barely holding it together." Gotcha doubts crept. What if he fought dirty? Took the kids? But no, I'd protect them. This wasn't revenge for revenge's sake. It was survival, justice for the years stolen, weeks blurred into planning. I met a lawyer discreetly, sat in her office, hands clasped tight, spilling it all. She nodded, eyes kind but firm. Gaslighting, emotional abuse. This is grounds. Papers drawn up. Custody outlined fairly since I was the stable one. Internal turmoil peaked. Fear of the unknown. But triumph budding, you're doing this, I told myself. Breath-steadying execution day arrived sharp and tense. He came home from work. Expecting dinner on the table, I handed him the envelope instead. Divorce papers, served cold. His face? Priceless eyes widened, color draining like water from a sink. "What the hell is this?" he stammered, hands shaking as he tore it open. The climax hit like thunder. He read the lines. Irreconcilable differences. Abuse cited. My full-time job securing stability. "You're serious?" He roared, face twisting in disbelief. Then anger. "After everything I've done for you?" Hypocrisy dripped from him. arrogant to the end, but cracking. He paced, just like in his monologues, but now powerless. "You can't do this." "I'll fight you!" Humiliation flashed in his eyes as he realized I'd flipped the script, no more control. I stood tall, voice steady for the first time. "You said you were done, now I am." His reaction? Raw, unraveling, pleading mixed with fury. "Come on, we can fix this, think of the kids." But it was too late. Relief washed over me like cool rain, triumph surging. Tears of release this time, he'd beg, but I'd already won. Karma delivered. The manipulator manipulated the lever, left behind in the end. This wasn't just about hurting him back. It was about breaking free, reclaiming my voice, showing my kids what strength looks like. Karma isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet exit that echoes loudest justice. It's taking back the power you never should have lost. Phew. If that revenge gave you the chills I felt telling it, smash that like button and drop in the comments. What's the most epic karma story you've lived or heard? Subscribe now for more heart-pounding Reddit tales. Hit the bell so you never miss out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.